And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, I'm going to be continuing on with the list of players who are very, very close to achieving milestones and breaking records in this NBA season that is going to be coming up. I already mentioned Chris Paul being possibly going to be ranked second all-time in assists by the end of the season. And I also mentioned James Harden, who is definitely going to break Ray Allen's three-point record and be second ranked in most three-pointers made, only behind Steph. So we're going to go ahead and continue on with that list. And we're going to start it with Nikola Jokic. Now, Nikola Jokic, as we know, he is a phenomenal NBA player, one of the best, if not the best, basketball player in the NBA right now. He's won MVP last season. He did not win it the previous season before that in 2022, but he did end up winning the Finals MVP. And, 2023, being the year that he ended up winning the Finals MVP. And then he ended up winning MVP in 2021 and 2022 as well. So he's a very, very great, phenomenal player. One of the best centers that we've seen ever. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Ever. One of the best centers that we've ever seen. Period. Done. His offense is by far the most versatile from any center we've ever seen. Most of the time, we see centers, they really I'm not saying that Jokic doesn't like to abuse the paint, but a lot of centers, they use their strength to their advantage and they abuse the paint. Jokic has other means of being viable on offense, more so than just being a straight-up dunker, like a majority of the centers that are all-time greats. Unlike most centers, he is one of the best passers that the league has ever seen. You can make the argument that, in fact, it's not even an argument at this point, he is the best passing center in the history of basketball, by far, without a doubt. And with this, obviously, comes a lot of triple-doubles. And now, given that in this season, all he needs is 9 triple-doubles. He is 9 triple-doubles away from being third on the all-time triple-double list. And the only players that have more triple-doubles than him would be, at that point, would be Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook. Those would be the only players that end up getting more triple-doubles than Nikola Jokic if this season comes to an end. And it's only 9 games. I mean, it's an 82-game season. He's definitely going to play way more than 50 games, unlike Joel Embiid. And in 9 of them, he's definitely going to end up breaking this triple-double record. And all that would stand in front of him would be Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook. Now, I believe that Russell Westbrook, and in my personal opinion, Russell Westbrook is way out of his prime. And given how Nikola Jokic is still relatively young, again, he's not the youngest player in the NBA, but he's still relatively young for how good he is in the NBA. Let me just go ahead and just make sure that I'm not being crazy. Yeah, he's just about to be 30 years old. So that means he's definitely going to still have more years left in him in the tank. And at this rate, he's probably going to be, in my opinion, the league leader in triple-doubles by the time his career comes to an end. And really, it's phenomenal what he's been able to do. And again, 9 triple-doubles away from breaking that milestone. So I definitely have him achieving that. Now, next player on this list is Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant is 656 points away from passing Moses Malone for 9th all-time in points ever in the NBA. And again, being known as one of the league's best scorers in the history of basketball, being in the top 10 in scoring is going to obviously, enforce that argument. Now, let me just go ahead and do some quick math real quick. So Kevin Durant, he's averaged, I want to say maybe he'll average 27 points per game in this season. At the least, maybe. We'll just say 27 times, and we'll give him leeway for injury. We'll say that he's going to play 60 games. We'll do that. So 27 times 60 is going to be 1,620. So he's easily going to break this. He's easily going to get 656 points to pass Moses Malone all time. I did that so that way you guys, like, obviously 656 points, it sounds like a lot. But when someone is as good as Kevin Durant, it's really not. And in fact, we'll give him even more leeway and say that he'll play only 40 games in this season. Assuming he scores 27 in all of these games, that'll still be 1,080 points. Now, we'll give him even more leeway in the production. Let's say maybe he's on the decline. We'll say he's getting injured and he's on the decline and he's going to average 25 points per game. We'll just say 25 points per game and only play 40 games. That's still 1,000 points. So he's going to break this record. I know it sounds like a lot of points that needs to be scored, but really, when it's someone like Kevin Durant, it's not all that much. And this is definitely a milestone that I see him breaking in this season. What I don't see him doing this season is winning another NBA championship, which has been the one thing that he's been trying to do ever since he left Golden State. He's already formed 2 super teams, one in Brooklyn and one in Phoenix. Brooklyn failed due to injuries and Kyrie being a quack. And this one failed. This one is going to fail because their roster is too heavy on those 3 players, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. And they aren't really focused on the team as a whole, in my personal opinion. I don't think you can win an NBA championship just running strictly isolation. And on top of that, they've also been known to choke. Like the Phoenix Suns, they've been a team that's just been choking in a lot of these important games and in a lot of these series, and also just losing in series when we expect something more from them. And because of that, I don't think that Kevin Durant is going to achieve that milestone. He will get the points, but the championship, no, I don't think so. Next, LeBron James. LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James. You either love him, you either hate him. I don't know what you guys feel about him, and I know exactly what you guys are thinking. But how many records can LeBron break in this season? I mean, he's already going to be the oldest to score the highest amount of points, the oldest to do this, the oldest to do that, da-da-da, on and on and on. It's like record after record after record. It's almost like he is the GOAT. But aside from that, this season, LeBron James would need 1,364 points to get 50,000 career points in both playoffs and the regular season, being the only player that has ever achieved 50,000 points in this season, or in their entire career in the NBA. Excuse me. So let's do some more math. So LeBron is at average 25 point per game scorer at average, and let's say he plays. We'll just go on a wild card here and say he'll play 81 games in the season, and that would be 2,025 points, assuming he plays in 81 games, which is. It's definitely plausible that he breaks this breaks this milestone. Now, let's be a little bit more realistic here, because we do know that LeBron James isn't really going to play in every single game. It's rare, especially recently, that he's doing that. So we'll take last season. Last season, he ended up playing 71 games. So we'll do the math again. 25 by 71. 1,775 points. So he'll have to play 71 games at the minimum and score 25 in at least all of them, really. Or in at least, I'll give him maybe 15 games where he doesn't have to score 25, but he'll have to be in the 20 margin. So this, while it is a little bit more difficult and not as plausible as James Harden's milestone or Kevin Durant's milestone, this is still a legitimately plausible milestone that LeBron James can achieve. And I have no doubt that in the postseason, if they even make the postseason, we'll have to see, that this is going to be a thing that would happen in the postseason. If worse comes to worse, he gets injured, then he will not end up breaking this milestone. But hopefully that's not going to be the case with LeBron. Now, next player on this list, Russell Westbrook. Now, this one is by far the most certain record that is going to be broken. The only thing that's really, I guess a lot of people would be, reluctant into thinking this wouldn't be broken is because of Russell Westbrook's status on the Denver Nuggets. He is going to be a bench player on the Denver Nuggets, meaning his minutes aren't going to be nearly as much as they were previously. With that being said, however, Russell Westbrook is one triple-double away from becoming the first player in NBA history to get 200 triple-doubles in their entire career. One game. He just needs one game to do this. One triple-double, and he's already got that milestone, and he's already become the first player in the history of basketball to acquire 200 triple-doubles. Just one. Again, the biggest problem with that is his status on the bench and, of course, his inefficiencies. Because he is going to be a bench player, the chances are he's not going to be able to play 30 minutes in every single game. And because you aren't going to be playing all that much, it's really difficult, especially as a point guard, to accumulate 10 assists and accumulate 10 rebounds. Now, I will say that the rebounding part might be a little bit easier now than it was in previous years, since now defenses, they tend to, or when a team shoots the basketball, they tend to run back, and the team on defense has an easy cherry-pick defensive rebound. So those kind of rebounds could inflate him and help him reach this milestone. And of course, there's the problem with the points production. Not entirely sure exactly what his role is going to be. If he's going to try to be a scorer, I really doubt that. I think he's going to be more of a facilitator for the Denver Nuggets. But again, this is still a milestone that could easily be broken if Russell Westbrook just has one fantastic game. All it takes is that one game, and he could do it. I really think he could this season. Next, and last but finally not least, Stephen Curry. Now, Steph needs 253 three-pointers to become the first player to ever hit 4,000 three-pointers in their entire career. Now, let's go ahead and check the stats just to be sure. Steph Curry's three-point makes last season, because again, I try to remember all of these stats, but it's like Jesus, it's like a lot of them. So, for reference, last season Steph Curry made 357 three-pointers. So, easily going to be broken this year. Easily going to be the first player to get 4,000 three-pointers, and I am looking forward to it because, while I am a LeBron fan and I don't really like Curry fans, and I'm not really a big fan of Curry or as much of a fan as most people are watching these games, I still respect Steph Curry and his talents, and seeing somebody change the game the way that he has is astonishing. It's like, this is I'm so grateful that I get to be a witness to Steph Curry and his greatness. I'm so grateful that I watched the Olympics and I watched Steph Curry just go all out in that final game with LeBron. And the only thing that I'm really not a big fan of Curry for is the fact that he ended up taking LeBron's 2 championship rings with teaming up with Kevin Durant. That's really the only big issue that I got. But aside from that, those are all the milestones that are really close to being broken in this coming season. That's all that I have for you in this segment. So let's go ahead and go into the 4th segment, where I talk about opening night and the games that are going to happen tomorrow since the NBA season is going to start. So I'll be right back after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.